afternoon, and wish you all a very happy World Hearing Day. Before I talk about the theme of this year, changing mindsets, I want to share with you a brief survey that I undertook with an undergraduate student as part of a student project when I was still working in India, as far back as, I think it was 2007 or maybe 2008 when this survey was done. So in this simple, short survey, we interviewed about 100 adults in the city, mostly well-educated people, and we asked them three simple questions. If they knew what the status of their blood pressure is, if they knew what their vision is like, and lastly, if they knew their hearing status. The results were perhaps not a big surprise to most of us. What we found was that while majority of adults and the vast majority of older adults knew about their blood pressure or their vision status, the same was not true when it came to hearing. As a matter of fact, the vast majority was unaware either about their hearing status or the importance of it. And this brings us really to the theme of this World Hearing Day. Changing mindsets. Empower yourself to make ear and hearing care a reality. So the question then comes, who is it that we are trying to change, trying to influence? What are these mindsets that we are trying to change? And how are we trying to influence these? So when we talk about who, I would like to talk about it in the context of three P's. People, providers, and policymakers. By people, I mean, well, the general public, people, society as a whole. Society that celebrates and enjoys many of the risk factors that are leading persistently to hearing loss. Loud is fun, the louder the better, as a result of which over 1 billion young people today face the risk of hearing loss simply by doing what they enjoy doing, listening to music, playing video games with their headphones on, and so on. Mindsets that trivialize hearing loss. It's a part of life. You will get used to it. It's nothing. Or that say, I don't need hearing aids since I'm okay, I'm fine mostly. It is as a result of these mindsets that people often wait as long as 10 years, which is the average time people wait to start using a hearing device, between the time that they actually need this device and the time that they start using it. Let us look at healthcare providers. Healthcare providers who, through the lack of information and the lack of proper guidance, proper knowledge, often provide misinformation to the patients that visit them, to parents, telling them that, well, she's too little to get a hearing test, or it's not urgent, it can wait, or wait a while, maybe she'll start speaking, etc. It is as a result of this that in places where newborn hearing screening is not systematized and not conducted uniformly, children wait till almost 3 years old to be diagnosed and to start intervention. While the recommendation in most places today is to start intervention by 3 months of age, not 3 years. So that is the impact of these mindsets. It's also mindsets amongst healthcare providers who often say that, well, you have good hearing for your age. Or when a comprehensive health checkup is to be conducted, conveniently leave out hearing tests because that is not so important. And it is as a result of these mindsets, that less than 20% of those people who could benefit from hearing devices, from hearing aids, from hearing care, actually benefit from these services. We are also focusing on policymakers who often comment on, yes, this is really important, but there are more important things to address, and hence this is not as important. As a result of which, a survey conducted not long back, or a study conducted not long back, showed that out of 100 national health policies that were assessed, only one of them actually significantly mentions ear or hearing problems. The outcome of this is that hearing loss and unaddressed hearing loss are on the rise, despite the fact that we have all the solutions required to prevent it, to prevent hearing loss, required to identify hearing loss either in an infant or in an older adult in any situation, and to address hearing loss. So the question then comes, what would an empowered mindset look like? What is the change that we are trying to bring in society? A change where people consider safe listening as cool, where musicians and their fans and all those who play games or listen to headphones, they protect their hearing. Musicians are role models, such as Chris Martin here, using earplugs and promoting their use amongst their audiences, where people do not hesitate to use hearing devices, but consider them as essential to keep communicating, to keep listening. Empowered mindsets are those where hearing screening and care is considered important, where healthcare providers undertake hearing screening, and those who undergo hearing screening then take cognizance of their hearing results and take action to address hearing loss. Mindsets amongst policymakers where hearing care is considered an essential part of healthcare and of universal health coverage. So the question then comes, how? How can we aim to achieve these? How can we aim to address these three sectors? People, providers, and policymakers. And for this, we need to raise awareness consistently amongst people, to build capacity amongst the healthcare providers, and also to convince policymakers to invest in this area. WHO has made many resources available for this purpose. This year itself, we have developed a number of materials that talk about what are the key steps we need to take to empower ourselves, to protect our hearing and to promote hearing care. What can music lovers do? What can gamers do? We have shared also various myth busters about hearing loss and ear care. What is common perceptions or misperceptions, and what is truth? What is the fact and what is fiction? We have also developed a number of flyers about safe listening, about ear care, about hearing loss, and promote an app called the Hear Who app that anybody can download on their iOS or Android phones to check their hearing within 5 minutes. And if you have not checked your hearing recently, I invite you immediately after this debate to download this app and to check your hearing on this World Hearing Day, and to make it a routine to do so regularly every World Hearing Day. WHO has also developed materials that can help us to build capacity amongst healthcare providers working at the primary and the secondary levels of care. Through use of these training resources and information materials, we can inform and educate health workers about what are the course of action to take in order to ensure that ear and hearing care is available and accessible to people. Materials also that can help to convince policymakers, such as the World Report on Hearing, which WHO published in 2021, and which clearly shows that investing just over $1 per person every year in ear and hearing care and upscaling ear and hearing care can benefit nearly 1.4 billion people and bring a return of $16 for every dollar that is invested over a 10-year period. What we now need to do is to take strong action to make our voices heard amongst people, heard amongst healthcare providers, and heard also by policymakers, decision makers. Today, World Hearing Day is our opportunity to do so. And I invite you all to join hands with WHO to making sure that our messages reach every part of this world and all can have access to information that can promote ear and hearing care and ensure good hearing across the life course. I thank you for your attention and I wish you all a wonderful World Hearing Day.